if you ask, a random person, majority of people in the street, do you think you could become a millionaire one day? They're going to say, no. Are you insane? And then you ask me, and I'm just like, yeah, of course. $1 million isn't even a lot of money, really.
What's up, peeps? This is Todd, and welcome back to my show. I have an incredible guest for you today because I have Alex Sanchez in the house. This man is 26 years old. He's got like 6 houses. He makes a ton of money, and he has one of the most viral videos on CNBC Make It. So welcome, Alex.
Thank you, Todd. You're definitely overhyping me right now because I do not make a lot of money, especially nothing compared to you.
Well, hey, you're being very humble, and I mean, we know you're killing it, man. We all saw the video. People watching know who you are too. I mean, you have over like last time I checked, like 2.5 million hits on your CNBC video. So well done, sir. But I wanted to bring you on because you're just another young guy who is absolutely crushing it. You have stocks, you have houses, you have a really high-paying job. So yeah, man, I thought I'd bring you on and just if you could tell the people a little bit of background about you, what you do, how you got into real estate, and just a little bit about your background and story.
Okay, just if I start to ramble on random stuff, I always seem to go off track. Uh, do you want me to just explain who I am and where I come from?
Sure. Yeah. How about maybe start with where are your parents from, and then how did you get to where you are today?
So my parents were born in Mexico. They're both straight from the other side.
Hmm.
They at the time they got here actually illegally, but now we're happy to say that they're legal. But yeah, so I'm first generation American, Mexican American. Uh, I'm 26 years old. I live in the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois, and I guess people know me because I was on the uh, CNBC episode where it started to kind of really become a big thing. Um, I guess I don't really feel like I'm anything special. I don't really feel like I'm doing anything that's worth being proud of because I like to keep myself down and I like to always consider myself. Uh, I'm fortunate, but at the same time, I know there's bigger people out there that are making way more and they're doing great things. I feel average. I feel very normal. But yeah, so I have a high paying career. I didn't have to go to college to do what I do. I'm an overhead lineman. I work in the utility business. I work on the power lines. I do maintenance on the power lines. Emergency work. Anytime you're out of power, I'm pretty much there to restore your power. What's awesome about my job is it's just so rewarding. I'm able to do something that a lot of people are scared of. They're scared of heights and they're scared of electricity. But it's rewarding in a way that I can do that. I almost feel like a superhero, but it's also rewarding financially. We get paid very well for what we do, but we also put in a lot of work, a lot of overtime. But I personally think I have the best job in the world, and I'm just taking advantage of my income so I could use that income to buy income producing rentals. Because at the end of the day, making a lot of money is cool, but being able to make money while you essentially sleep is the ultimate goal, at least for me. Because I want to buy that time freedom. I want to have that freedom to do whatever I want with the people I want and just be my own boss, sort of thing.
Dude, yeah, that is awesome. Well, let me say you're incredibly humble because you're doing awesome things. I know you're crushing it. So you're very well spoken. You're a very down to earth guy, and it's refreshing to talk to someone like that because a lot of the people you see that are doing well, they just can't wait to like flex and brag, and you're just not that guy at all. So well done. Now I know. Okay, so we were in a couple video. Well, we were in that one video together, and then I had my episode, you had yours, and then we met in Chicago. And actually, when I was coming to meet you, you had an emergency like lineman thing where you had to go like fix stuff during a storm. So
Yeah,
is your job? Are you just like you have like your normal hours, but then if they call you to go fix something, you got to go immediately?
yeah. So yeah, that was how ironic, right? We were supposed to hang out, and I kind of uh, bailed on you.
We met eventually. It's all good.
Yeah, it was worth it, right? It was worth the wait. But yeah, so I have my shift will change every now and then. Right now I'm on Monday through Friday, 6 to 2:30, but anything outside of that is overtime. So I never really have that normal schedule because I'm always signing up to work extra overtime on the weekends. As soon as the holidays roll in, there's a lot of overtime to be, worked, because when the holidays hit, when the weekends hit, an important weekend like 4th of July weekend, stuff like that, that's when they put more shifts on, because that's when we're essential. Well, that's when we're more essential. Sorry, my dog's trying to play catch.
No worries.
Yeah, that's when we're more essential, because nobody wants to lose power on the 4th of July, or when it's Thanksgiving dinner and you're about to eat and you just lose power. So essentially, we trade a lot of, we trade time for money. And some days it's very well, we don't have a lot of emergency tickets coming in and we're just there on the clock. But then, when shit hits the fan, sorry, I didn't mean to say shit, but when it gets chaotic, and when we have bad days, and we're outside working in the cold weather and the rain and the snow, whatever it is. But I always think it's a winning day over a losing day. You win some, you lose some, but we definitely win more than we lose. And yeah, it's I average 80 hours a week, I would say.
Wow, 80 hours a week. Now, so let me ask you this. So I know I know even with 2020, because you're an investor and you have a really high demand job, I know you did well this year. So like when I saw your episode, and I could be botching it, but I think when it came out, it was like, I think you were going to make like 250 or 280. Has your income increased since then with all the things you have, your job, your rentals, your side hustles? Have you increased, decreased, or stayed the same?
Yeah, I would. Well, that's my goal. That's like my long-term goal, to always increase my income year after year. Because if I'm not, I think I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I am. My income this year, I don't know what it's going to be at. I don't know. I would say, I really, whatever. I feel kind of bad disclosing it, but I will be making more than what I made last year. That's for sure. And I did take advantage of COVID. I kind of feel greedy for doing so, but I took advantage of the stock market. I put in the beginning of the year, when things started crashing, like February, March. That's when I put majority of my money into stocks. And then recently I bought a house where I'm kind of moving out of stocks, because it looks like it's, I've made good money with this in the stock market, but right now I picked up a rental that I just see more potential, and I've been working on that. And real estate is my passion, man. So in the beginning of the year, I couldn't find any deals, and I wanted to take advantage of the stock market. But right now, I'm back into real estate, and although I take things slow, I like to do the work on these properties. So I'm working on a big fixer-upper right now.
Dude, that's awesome. Good for you. And I think, you and I have a similar strategy, because we're both very heavily in real estate, but similar to you, I also bought a bunch of stocks when the market dipped this year. And you said something interesting where, you almost felt bad about doing that, but I think you kind of have to. I mean, if you're an investor and now all of a sudden there's shares of businesses that are underpriced, it's basically offering itself up for investment. So I don't think you did anything wrong or immoral. I think anyone that wants to be an investor would do the same. I mean, that's just a smart buy. But I do understand this year has just been crazy, and hopefully 2021 will be a lot better. Do you have any like big goals or plans for next year?
Yeah. So yeah, and you're completely right. I feel slimy in a way, but the only reason I feel slimy is because I know a lot of people, they lost a lot of family members, or they got extremely sick. So I kind of feel weird talking about money, but it was definitely a come up for the people that were smart with the money. As far as what you're asking, my goals for next year are, to just keep getting better every single year. I just compete against myself. I get trapped on, thinking what others, especially thinking, what you're doing, man, it motivates me. But at the same time, I try not to compare myself to you. But you're the type of you're the person in my life that, we don't know each other too well. And I haven't known you for a long time, but you push me to strive, to get better and just increase my income. My goal for next year is to make six figures outside of work, and I want to flip a few properties and then just buy more rentals with that.
That's awesome. Yeah. So to make six figures outside of work on top of your job that pays you six figures, you're an inspiration, man. And I'm flattered that you say that, you look up to me, because I look up to you on a lot of things too. You're doing some really cool stuff. And I think you have a really great story. And that's actually a question that, and if it gets too, I guess, weird to talk about, just let me know and I'll shut it down. But I feel I'm always fascinated to hear people's responses, because you are absolutely killing it, like in life, with your career and your investments. And there will be a lot of people that say that guys like you, guys like me, can't get ahead because of racism, or because we're minorities, or there's barriers that are holding us back. And not that there aren't those things, but your parents were Mexican immigrants, and here you are. Next, I would be amazed if in 2021 you made less than like 350 grand. I would be shocked. And a lot of people would say that for guys like you, for guys like me, that's impossible. So do you have a message to folks that maybe want to be like you, but they don't think they can because they've been hit with a lot of propaganda? Or do you think it is real? Like, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah. I think it's personally, like, it's hard to convince someone that's like not open-minded. So I've always been an open-minded person, and I've always been a believer of other things. When someone has something to say, I listen up, while others are just, they're too, if you ask, a random person, majority of people in the street, do you think you could become a millionaire one day? They're going to say, no. Are you insane? And then you ask me, and I'm just like, yeah, of course. $1 million isn't even a lot of money, really. I'm just, if I see people that are doing it, and especially because I know a lot of people, I know immigrants from our town in Mexico that are just killing it. They're making maybe more than what I'm making, and they don't even know they're not even fluent with English. Not that I'm the most fluent, but they came straight from Mexico. They have businesses, and they're just killing it. So I look up to those people. I look up to people that come from nothing, and that's what motivates me. So if they're doing it, I should be able to do it. This is the best country in the world to prosper. So, I'm a very hard person. Like, my emotions are like, I'm kind of a stickler. I don't show emotions too much, and I do not buy it's because I don't like it when people feel bad for themselves, because I would never feel bad for myself. So I think this is a country to succeed, and anything's possible in this country. You just have to have the work ethic. And unfortunately, in school, they don't teach us work ethic. They just teach us, they kind of, how do I say it? They pretty much tell us if you go to school, you get good grades, you get that job, you're going to be happy and you're going to be successful. But to me, that was never success. To me, I never thought working for a company until I die, and following the rules and getting mediocre wages, that was it for me. And I knew there was opportunity out there. I just feel like a lot of people don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So get educated and open your mind. Change your mindset. It's all in your mind, because if it exists in here, it starts to exist out in reality. So I'm a big believer of law of attraction, but you got to put in the work. Obviously, they go hand in hand, but it's all in the mind. I used to hate books. I used to think like, I don't believe in spiritual or mindset thing. But as soon as I started believing in that, I changed my whole mind. I see things so different. And just 5 years ago, I didn't see things like that. So it starts off with getting educated and never stopping your education journey, because you're never done learning.
Yeah, no, that is really powerful. And I agree with you. I think that unfortunately, a lot of people, they just don't believe it's possible. Like they, just like you said, if you ask a random person on the street, do you think it's possible to become a millionaire someday? Probably 99% of people will say no, because they have that fixed mindset, and they think that, it's what I do is I make my 40,000 per year, and that's life. And I remember when I was in junior high, so middle school, there was some sort of assignment where you had to talk about the career you wanted to choose, either right after high school or right after college. And people came up and said different jobs, and they were all like very normal, you know, fine, like respectable jobs, but nothing was like gobs of money and huge success.
Yeah.
And when it got to me, I didn't even really know what I wanted to do, but I was like, I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 30. And everybody laughed, including the teacher, and I failed the assignment. And then when I got to high school, in my history class, there was another thing where it was like, all right, you know, you go to high school and you go to college. What do you guys want to do after college? Everybody had, you know, oh, I want to be a I don't know, construction worker, or I want to manage a restaurant or whatever it was. It was just very sort of like normal, nothing crazy. And again, my response was, yeah, I don't know what I want to do yet. I just know that I want to make $1 million a year and I want to get there by the time I'm 30 years old. And the entire class laughed, and I passed, I think, $1 million when I was 25, and then 2 million when I was 27 or 28. So it's just like, it's the belief, man, though. It's the mindset, and most people don't have it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's mindset mixed with work ethic. Being a go-getter and just not being afraid to fail, and just not being lazy. You can't be lazy. It doesn't matter what kind of mindset you have, because if you don't put in the work, it's not gonna be. You're not gonna accomplish anything.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what's funny is I see a lot of immigrants, whether it's, you know, they came here or it's their children. So like you know, the kind of the first generation, and all of them have this mindset and work ethic that is almost always far superior than those who were born here and their parents were born here. And I think it's because they had to hustle to get out of whatever situation brought them here, and they instilled that in their children. And so most of the people that I know that are from other countries, dude, they're killing it. I hang out with this guy in Seattle, a guy by the name of Jan Wenat, and I think his parents were originally from Russia. This dude, he became a millionaire in his 20s through real estate. And it's just because like he has that immigrant grind that I think a lot of people don't have, because they take this area and this opportunity for granted. Like people that didn't come from nothing, they have no idea the opportunity that's in front of them today, right now.
Yeah, they don't have that motivation, that push, that fire. My motivation is the stories that my parents tell me from when they were kids. It's also my, you know, seeing my parents at work all the time, and they missed all my baseball games and this and that because they had to work, and they never really made a lot of money. So that's another thing that pushes me, that like, you know, I have to go out there and get as much as I can get now, because my parents, you know, unfortunately, one day they're not going to be here. So I want to do everything I can right now so I can give back to them. And I know it's not all about money, but, you know, money does open the gates to a lot of things that you can do with your family. It's not happiness, but it's like the vehicle to happiness, because it could buy pretty much anything. You could buy time, which is the most important thing.
Right. Yeah. Or like, you know, in your parents' old age, like medical care or like a house for them or whatever it is. That's something that's really big for me, is like, you know, eventually I thought about, you know, either getting my mom a house or building like a little cottage on whatever house I decide to buy for like my forever house and raise a family in. And so my mom's taken care of, and then my wife's parents too, whether it's like medical treatment or whatever, just to have those options to help your family and give back to your community. That is a big driver for me. And actually one of my goals, I don't know that I'll be able to pull it off in 2021, but something that I want to do by 2022 is build a tiny house village for all the homeless veterans in Seattle, because there's so many of them, and they're suffering. Like, and it honestly, like, it's disgusting how someone could go fight for our country and then come back and they're treated like shit and they go homeless. Like, that just doesn't sit right with me. So I want to build a community for them, and we'll see, you know, but all of that too, I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't a rich person. Like, it starts by building yourself up, starting companies, making money, so that I have the time and the resources to go build that community for them. But it starts there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we get brainwashed into thinking that money is evil, and we grow up not talking about money. At least my parents didn't really talk about it. But they don't talk about money in school. They don't talk about finance in school because it's something, it's a taboo topic. And I think that's really, really wrong how we're raised. And they don't even teach us how to do our taxes, like important stuff in life. But the reality is, without money, you can't do much,
Mhm.
so it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Alex, this has been absolutely incredible. You are an awesome guy. You're doing a lot of really cool things. I look up to you. You inspire me every time we talk. Is there any last minute advice you would like to live to the wonderful people of YouTube before we wrap up for the hour?
My advice is to watch your YouTube channel. Um, I would say watch my YouTube channel, but I haven't been posting. And what's funny is I actually just, as before you and I got on the call, I was finishing up editing a video that I'll probably post this week, if not next week. But um, whenever I post, listen to what I have to say. But just with you and me, I think. Uh, just because we're not at that Grant Cardone level where
Mm-hmm.
you can't even relate with them. Uh, I think it's just cooler to relate with someone that's, they're doing well, but they're not at that level where they're cocky people, which I don't think you and I will ever be, but anything is possible. And I always tell everyone that anything is possible, and learn from the people that have what you want, and just always learn, man. It's all on YouTube. It's for free and it's on YouTube.
For sure. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you again. I will certainly plug your Instagram and your YouTube channel in the description of this video. And awesome. Thanks for coming on, man. This is great.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me over.